So we're going to get an overview of Trimble Connect. It's kind of this very ubiquitous thing, sometimes hard to understand. We'll understand, what data can I upload? How can I access the data? What else can the data tie to? And then what all can I do with the data that's there? So we'll kind of, understand all of these different things, and then we'll leave time for a question and answer period at the end if there are any questions that we need to address. So an overview of the platform. It is a web-based common data platform, which, there's a lot of them out there, that quote, claim to be the single source of truth. There's Procores of the world, Autodesks of the world. I hope today kind of gives an overview of, how it might help connect those that are in the Trimble ecosystem and currently don't use Connect. And the many advantages that using Trimble Connect is going to really bring in that quality control environment, right? Trimble at its core, not only are the positioning experts, but within that, on a job, time, cost, and quality are kind of those big three. We want to make sure, Trimble products really tackle the quality aspect of that. So, we have a lot of customers that are using Trimble Connect, more as a quality control platform, to start tying in, positionally where do things go. It's not, some things that it's not. At its core, it's not handling your RFIs, your submittals, things like that. We'll talk briefly, I think, in a few slides about what it does tie into, and some other things that it can do that it sits on top of. But at its core, it's mainly just kind of a file repository. But as of late, with some developments that we'll talk towards the end of the presentation with AR, augmented reality and mixed reality, it really becomes a very powerful 3D model viewer. It's also very affordable versus other options that people are used to out there. It's given by a single seat basis, so you don't have to buy this big enterprise thing. You can, but if you just have a small job, you can get into Trimble Connect for about a couple $100. And then when you start talking about the extensions that it can do, you're looking more at the range of a couple $1,000s per year, but very very much affordable, compared to others in the marketplace. And then obviously a big chunk of the presentation will be showing what it can tie into. It integrates with many other Trimble tools. So we'll hit that as well. So as long as you have a Trimble ID, which many people actually do, if you've ever used SketchUp, for free lately, a Trimble ID is really needed to log into some things. A lot of other licenses are attached to a Trimble ID, which is just your email address. So like I said, you might have one and not even know it. But if you have a Trimble ID, you can just go to Trimble Connect and create a project and start uploading data. And there's a little bit of limitation on that, which we'll get to at the very end of the presentation around cost and what would make sense for your team. So these are the technical file formats that are supported. What can I upload? And the note there at the bottom, viewing depends on the file type and what you're trying to view, how you're trying to view it. But we can accept a very wide range of data here. You see we can take in PowerPoint files and things like that can be used through the desktop application. You can't view a lot of that like you could on Microsoft Cloud, so you just kind of really have to understand the workflow, what you're trying to achieve, and what plugin, you're kind of installing. So, but, a big part of the presentation will be about 3D file formats. You can see there in the middle, we accept all the major ones, IFC, Revit, actually not, oh yes, on this list, Navisworks, that's a big one, especially for those in the coordination market, doing 3D coordination in the MEP space. But might be some people on the call dealing with Tekla. That's going to be your IFCs. Obviously, that's a Trimble product. Tekla file there at the bottom, straight. A .tekla file also obviously uploads just fine. And then point cloud formats. If anybody was here for the previous webinar where we talked about FieldLink 6.3 updates, Eric mentioned how you can utilize data inside of FieldLink, with laser scans, and we'll talk a little bit today about how you can use Trimble Connect to kind of store those files and sync up and down, to the cloud and things like that. So, and then probably not a lot of people in our customer base that are doing geospatial file formats, but those are there as well. If you're getting into the GNSS, things like that, you might get into those things as well. So. How can I access the data? So, the main version, like I said, it's a web-based platform. So that would be the browser. So you just open up a browser, go to web.trimbleconnect.com, and you say, hey, I want to upload this 3D model or this 2D drawing, PDF or DWG or what have you. And then most of that 2D and 3D information, as far as drawings and models are concerned, can be viewed straight on the web. It's a great way for somebody not to have expensive software. If somebody can create a free account, you can share a view with them, share a model with them, and go from there. So on the Windows side, we have the Trimble Connect Windows application that gets a little bit more into model aggregation, viewing, being able to color different models. If anybody's been around the industry for a little while, if you remember Tekla BIM site from before the Tekla acquisition that Trimble had, you'll remember Tekla BIM site. This Tekla BIM site essentially turned into Trimble Connect Windows. So fun fact about Trimble Connect Windows, it actually does do some clash detection, that you can do in there. Not very well known, but it is possible that you can do clash detection in there as well. So, but it's also a good way to start communicating, prepping a lot of the file data, that we'll see here today. The other one is Trimble Connect Sync. So that is basically like your Dropbox sync, your Box sync, your Google Drive sync. I'm sure everybody here has got all those on their computers, syncing up and down to the cloud. What I like about Trimble Connect Sync is, it's very customized, and we'll kind of get into a use case where this is going to come in handy with layout and scanning. But you can select, hey, I just want to push to the cloud, or I just want to, receive from the cloud. That way, you're very much in control of the data that's being transferred, as to not overwrite, files inadvertently. The next is mobile device, so Trimble Connect for mobile. That platform's been around a while now, so you can basically just load up a 3D model or a 2D drawing, and flip it around on your mobile device. And the most recent version of our applications is actually Trimble Connect AR, which allows you to then say, hey, I want to view this model in augmented reality, so that you're overlaying your digital content onto the real world. So speaking of the same, with the XR10 with HoloLens 2, Trimble Connect MR is also available as a plugin. You obviously get that on the HoloLens itself, and that has a separate licensure that we'll go over at the end. So what else does it tie to? Like I said, Project Site is a Trimble product. It is more of your dealing with submittals, your RFIs, things like that. It's a really good option for kind of a mid-range GC that is, doesn't want to buy into a big enterprise system, pay all that cost. Something, if you want something more affordable, Project Site is a good option. So Trimble Connect essentially acts as a piece of, where you store your models and drawings, inside or for Project Site. Like I said, obviously Tekla is a straight tie. I don't have Tekla installed, so I don't have a screenshot from Tekla, but it's in a part of the ribbon, obviously you can just push up to Trimble Connect straight from Tekla. When we start talking about Revit, you know, there's a straight Revit, importer or uploader that goes from here from your add-ins. It's a file uploader, and you can choose if you want to upload the entire project or just a specific 3D view. You just say, hey, I want to push this 3D view up to the Trimble Connect, and once it is done uploading and converting, then it basically goes from there, and it's all done. The next thing here is field points. So you can see the field points ribbon, obviously, placing your points, exporting them, naming them, but also in the middle of it here, we have Trimble Connect, where you can download, upload, and open Trimble Connect straight from the cloud. So that becomes very handy when you're starting to talk about transferring field points files, which we'll get into here in a little bit. SketchUp is here in the bottom right. So Trimble obviously is a SketchUp software, was acquired a few years back, and so now they've, in the latest releases, have fully integrated Trimble Connect, where you can, publish straight to Trimble Connect. You can open a model, you can collaborate, different things like that, straight within your SketchUp tool. You don't have to locally download, SketchUp models to the cloud or to your local desktop. And then if you were here last time to talk about FieldLink, FieldLink is also inside of Trimble Connect directly. So if you're on the, you just go to the More and then Trimble Connect, it'll prompt you to log in. It'll probably open the web browser. You log in with that, and then you basically just go, when you're looking at, importing models and drawings, you might probably see this little cloud that's grayed out. Maybe you've wondered what that is. That's Trimble Connect. So, people in the office upload things to, can upload things to that cloud on Trimble Connect, and you can, download them directly through there. Obviously, when you go to download it, you have to have an internet connection. So probably doing that in the office trailer, or you can tether to a hotspot from your tablet, any which way. So these are kind of pulled from last time, so I'll kind of breeze over them, but wanted to make it known as well. The new TFLX file did come with FieldLink 6.3, so you can view TFLX projects in Trimble Connect, where you can start to track layout, see deviations in the layout. You can manage and save as to Trimble Connect like it's shown here, and you can also see which points are staked out, like we'll see in this next example. This is a data table that is inside of Trimble Connect on the web that you can start to see, okay, what's been laid out, what's the date. You can really start organizing this and understanding, some productivity rates, how your layout's going on the project. So this is kind of a use case that might be helpful for a lot of our customers that are doing layout. So you can use Trimble Connect Sync on your tablets. So it's just a Windows application, and since all of our tablets are Windows-based tablets, you can say, hey, I want my project folder. I want these specific folders to push up to Trimble Connect and go into a certain project, and then you can view those TFLX files. Over here on the left side, this is, you can start to see, okay, these are the points that are laid out already. These are the points that are, red X's represent points laid out outside of tolerance that you can kind of dig into any issues that are happening there. And then obviously green shows what's been laid out. So, and then if anybody yet has looked into FieldLink MR, if you are constantly connected on your HoloLens, this is actually an automatic push. So point by point, as you lay out a point in FieldLink MR, it'll push that to Trimble Connect, and you can actually view that, even on your mobile device. You can view it on the web, things like that. So one important thing to note that we found, Trimble Connect Web is a read-only on the TFLX, which is probably a good thing. You don't want to, edit that point data file, because it can be used later to help your case. Hey, this is where we laid it out. So anybody on Trimble Connect, that's in your project isn't, toying with that file. But this kind of system also acts as a good file backup system in case your tablet crashes, or you've got to swap out a tablet for, you reach out to one of our guys and say, hey, we need a new tablet. You know that your information's up in Trimble Connect, the latest information from the previous day. You can easily just download that that point information in your background files and be off and running without any delay. TRB files, just a point of note. So when you create, this is within FieldLink, when you create FieldLink files, you'll see there's models. When you upload a DWG, it's actually caching a TRB file. So a TRB file is just a short for Trimble BIM. It's kind of a double nomer there. It's trimming that file down, making it optimized for Trimble viewing. And this is actually happening in the background of anything that you're doing with Trimble Connect, really. So as you upload a DWG file, this can, you can essentially pull those down, and use them. You obviously probably can't use them in any other software, but you can use them across Trimble Connect and go from there. So. This is a point of note about NWC and NWD conversions if you do go that route. With Trimble Connect Web, if you upload a bunch of NWC files, you'll see that they won't load. So the actual conversion tool for that is on the Trimble Connect Windows application. So what's happening in the background is it's essentially converting those NWC and NWD files to a bunch of trim BIM files in the background. And really that's what's kind of being uploaded back in the background. So when you resync it after that conversion, then you're able to view all your NWC files on the web or mobile or wherever else, HoloLens, AR app, things like that. So this is kind of another note about the data tables. So the I in BIM, so this is an example where we use Trimble field points to install. So we're analyzing the TFLX file here, showing, we were able to put in exactly, hey, this is a P43 sleeve, so you can actually start doing some quantity takeoffs, some bill of materials straight inside of Trimble Connect with data tables, which requires a business license, which we'll get to there at the end. But basically, just know that you can start pulling out that information and really start doing some good quantity takeoffs. And if anybody's using Siskiyou in that new platform, this would look familiar to you. This is where kind of that spooling in the web, they're starting to be able to do that. And I think in the future, a lot of that functionality is going to come downstream to AR and MR as well. So viewing models inside of Trimble Connect, I've got a few different videos here that we can kind of look at. I'll start here with a ductwork example. So, this is, all these videos are going to be through the HoloLens. It'll look pretty similar for Trimble Connect AR and MR as well, but you can kind of see through, this ductwork through the model. You can see where the access zone is going to be. Everything looks great, being installed very well on this project until we get to, I'll fast forward here for the sake of time, until we get right here. We can see, something, we can see where it was supposed to be in the model versus where it is now in the field. So we can see that deviation. We can, record that. We can see, hey, is there, we can go back to the reason why that happened. Hey, maybe we missed something in coordination that wasn't taken into consideration. But more importantly, does this work? Does this have to be reworked? That's really the benefit of the AR and the MR apps, is really finding those errors and really getting to a resolution fairly quickly. This is a plumbing example. I'll fast forward here for the sake of time. You can see this one we did coordination with wood knockers in the deck. So this shot, you can see the orange represents, in the real world where that hanger is going to be. We can actually see, hey, we want to make sure that this is going to hit exactly where it's going to, which is, ideally where we want to be. and then this sleeve can, we can see, it it's showing like it's not going up through, mainly because, excuse me, let me try to get that bigger again. It's not going up through just because it wasn't chopped off in the model, but we can see that it's going to be going up through that sleeve. So this looks like a good installation. We know, hey, these hangers are going to be in the right spot. And then another thing to kind of note is, bringing in 2D and 3D information at the same time. So this is an electrical example. You'll see that there's a little bit of drift that occurs because I did an alignment pretty far away from this point. But you can see that we are, I'll let this, apologize there. Accidentally hit the space bar. You can see that all the dimensional data is on the floor, right? So that's really what we're building to. So you can see, okay, 2 foot 3 1/4. Go back and pause it. So from the finished face of the stud, even though it's shifted a little bit, you can see, okay, the finished face of the stud here is 2 foot 3 1/4 inches, and so that mark is actually in the right spot in the field. So even though we're not exactly accurate as far as the model is concerned, and you'll see that once we look up, it's a little bit shifted. We know from the dimensional data that we are in the right spot. So you can see, 2D data and 3D data being combined into that AR/MR view is really going to add a lot of value for customers who need to understand, hey, at the end of the day, we're still building off of 2D drawings, and dimensions. We're probably a little bit ways off from building directly from the holograms themselves, but that time I'm sure is coming in the pretty near future. But until then, being able to combine these 2D and 3D data sets is a huge benefit to a lot of our customers. So as we wrap up here, get towards the end, how can I deploy Trimble Connect? So like I said, a free account, you can just go log in with your Trimble ID or just create one for free. You can create a project. You have 10 gigabytes max of storage, and you can also join up to 5 projects with that login. So, this is a great option for people that are just looking to get in and out, kind of viewing. The business is $120 a year. It upgrades you to unlimited projects, unlimited storage, and unlimited invites. And then the business premium from there kind of goes into the property sets, data tables, the organizer, and status sharing. Really starting to dig into that data side, like I was showing a few slides back. So that's $287 a year. And then the Trimble Connect for augmented reality is about $1,000 a year. That's what enables you to view it on your iPad or your iPhone, and doing that overlay. And then Trimble Connect for mixed reality is the top tier, and everything kind of bundles downward too as well. So this unlocks MR viewing capabilities for the HoloLens 2 or the XR10 with HoloLens 2, and really allows that immersive augmented reality experience. So that's $2,100 a year. So like I said, you can deploy this. Hey, we have a BIM manager. He has a TCMR license. Maybe we give all of our superintendents that are out checking work on a day-to-day basis. Maybe we give each of them a license of AR. And then maybe just for the field or for the office staff, we give a couple of our estimators the business premium license to do, some of the quantity takeoffs and organizing the data. And maybe, we just give a few of the laborers even a free account or a business account and say, hey, flip around this model. So the more hands the data touches, really the better, especially with all the changes that happen in construction these days. So to summarize, we talked about what we can upload, how we can access, what else does it tie to, and what all we can do with that data. So